ACCUSTATS Video Productions takes great pride in presenting the WPBA World Class 9-Ball.
I'm Bill Incardona, and I have two really special people with me this evening. Possibly the two greatest women players in the world today. On my right, Belinda Bearden, and on my left, the lady who is the only undefeated player left in this tournament, Robin Bell. Well, girls, is it okay if I call you girls?
Please do. Yes, please do.
Thank you. Anyways, the two ladies we see out there right now, Loree Jon Jones and Ewa Mataya, are the only two other players left in the tournament beside yourself, Robin. And I believe the last time they met, can you fill me in what happened?
You want me to fill you in the last time in the finals, the last tournament we played in?
No, the last time these two girls met.
I wasn't here.
Well, anyways, they're both playing extremely well, or they wouldn't be in this position right now. Was it the U.S. Open 9-Ball that they met last?
My memory really doesn't serve me right now, Billy. I'm sure it could have possibly even been in New Jersey, our last turn.
Mm-hmm. Well, see if we can fetch Mary Keniston and get her up here. Well, regardless, they met several times, and I believe these two ladies are very, very competitive and they're close. Just the last match, Ewa Mataya played, she defeated Billy Billings 9 games to 8. It was a very exciting match. And I believe Loree Jon Jones played Robin Bell, the woman to my left. And Robin, you defeated her 9 games to 7. You both played extremely well in that match. It would be a nice shot if she would cut this 4 into the corner and brush that 6 over so slightly on the top of the 6, and she would just go over toward the 5. Just like so. She executed the shot fairly well. She has a very difficult cut shot on the 5 here. I believe she's going to go for it. Most importantly, I feel that when you shoot a shot like this, you would just keep your eye on the object ball. And if you go into the 6, you go into the 6, but if you can tell where you're going to in the 6 before you shoot it, that would be good. But if you can't, I would just concentrate on the object ball.
She made a nice shot there, and the 6 ended up in a very good position for her.
She struck that with excellent speed. She's lied in the actually the ideal spot on the table to go in between the 8 and 9 right here.
This is still a tough shot. You know, she's got to play it almost perfect to get out. Because even if she gets on the 8, she's still got to get a good shot to get position for the 9.
Okay, it's important that when she strikes this ball, she strikes it firm enough if when she hits the 9, that she rolls away from it slightly. When she's going to the 8.
She got a good roll there. She hit it good.
She can just roll this softly into the pocket.
For the first game. Eva's been playing real well the last few games. Real well.
Well, she's won.
New Jersey.
She's won
12-12.
the first 2 events of the year here in the United States. As a matter of fact, in the World Championships in Bergheim, West Germany, was the last time that these two ladies met, and Loree Jon prevailed by a score of 5-3, 5-3. The format was the race to 5, 2 out of 3 sets, and there goes the 9-ball.
Great.
Well, usually the person that wins the first game of a match, in the men's division that is, wins about 65% of the matches. In the women's case, I don't know, but I know that after 2 games, Miss Ewa Mataya leads Loree Jon Jones 2 games to 0.
The top women players, a 2-game lead is nothing. There's no threat for Loree Jon at all. And even 2 games, 3 games, it doesn't matter because it's such an even match. We know at any time that we can still come back and win the same amount of games. You know, there's never a falling down. You know, we don't ever give up.
Yeah, the girls have that relentless attitude about themselves, is that they continue to try. That was a very nice shot. She located the cue ball on back of the 4-6. Ewa Mataya steps to the table.
Very nice safety.
with really nothing to shoot at. She's going to have to go indirect rail first, probably behind the 5, in between the 5/8, and then even though even if she hits it well, she only has a portion of the 1 ball to hit. The 2 ball is the ball located next to the 1. If she can get behind the 6 and lengthen it out enough, she could possibly hit the 1 this way, but from my angle, it doesn't appear that she can
Looks
do
like
that.
she'd really have to spin it to lengthen the angle off the rail.
Well, she went too long.
Went too long.
Wow.
That's a surprise.
Okay, now Loree Jon Jones steps to the table with an excellent opportunity to cut into this lead. I believe she has a pocket for the 1, the side pocket. This is the type of a rack that she wanted to get after trailing 2 games to 0. She wanted to step up to the table with a good opportunity, and that's exactly what she has. This rack will loosen her up a little bit. She can run a few balls.
I don't see any problem areas either. Well, I think one was just created. She can still get this ball on the side.
But she
She
has
has to
to
be
make
sure not to get hooked behind the 5 or the 8.
That's exactly
Oh.
right. She hit
Hit
it
it
with
very nice.
very nice speed. Of the 2 girls out there, Robin, you're going to have to play the winner. Do you have any preference?
I'd rather play Eva than Loree Jon. Although I've been doing well with Loree Jon, I like her game over Eva, so I still would rather play Eva.
I see. Now, she's gotten herself in a funny position here. It looks like she may be able to draw this ball, but she has to concentrate and really put a good firm stroke on this 5 ball in order to bypass the 6. Watch out. Now she's located the cue ball in a very poor position. What she did there, she stretched, and when you stretch, you lose a little something on your stroke. And I think she may have let up on her stroke a little bit there.
I wonder if she might have been better off following the ball to the bottom rail.
If she would have chosen that shot, Belinda, she would have followed it and went into the back of the 6 ball. She could not have avoided that. She chose the correct shot, but she didn't stroke it well enough. Well, she located the 6 ball in a position on the table where it's like almost impossible to make. But I believe Ava can thin the 6 ball and roll it down to this bottom rail and leave her long. It requires a very thin hit.
She may be going
Perhaps a
Two
thin hit
rails.
off the right side of the
6 over
ball
here,
and
2
leave the
rails.
cue ball down here and use the 8 ball to hide the 6.
Now, Robin
She's
brought up a very good
Trying to
shot.
bank it.
She shot your shot, Robin. No, she shot the safety shot, I do believe. It was to hit it short, but she hit it a little bit too long. If she would have hit that ball a little shorter, the 6 ball would have ended up on that bottom rail. Now, Loree Jon steps to the table once again with an opportunity.
She'll have to stroke this ball nicely to stay in good shape for the 7.
That was the ball that needed to be made.
Even though this may appear to be routine, she must keep her eye on the ball, and maintain strong concentration.
She got real funny here. I don't know what she was thinking.
I like her following this ball, but more of a middle ball. If she does that, the cue ball should come 3 rails around and end up in reasonable position to pocket the 9.
One thing I want to bring up is the temperature out there. It's so hot. I mean, my match, we were just sweating, and you're just so uncomfortable.
Well, and I think part of that is due to the large crowd here. We really have a house full, standing room only.
Game number 3 also goes to Ewa Mataya, who now lengthens her lead over Loree Jon Jones, 3-0. Yes, the people in the Reno area really support the game up here. They come out every year, twice a year, to watch these professional players play. And the players really respond well for the people up here in Reno. They always play. We always have a real nice tournament up here.
Hopefully the women will be here right along with the men.
I hope so. I always like to go to tournaments where there are both women and the men's tournaments because I really enjoy being around the women. It's sure pleasant to be around.
Well, thank you so much, Billy.
And I really mean that. Just not just because you two women are here. I really mean that.
I think we do. I think we do add a special touch.
Yes, I think we feel that way too, though. You know, I like it when the men players are alongside of us.
Well, it's a good opportunity for the women to be around the excellent play that the men always come through with, and it's always a learning experience.
I find that if I'm weak in an area, that I'll come and sit and watch a man play. That I think it has that extra talent in that particular area, you know. So I'll come and watch them play and see whatever rut I'm in, try to get out of it.
Robin, you're really playing well now. What do you attribute that to?
Well, it's nice that you're eager to learn, and you always want to be around someone who can teach you something. A lot of the girls, and for that matter, a lot of the men, refuse to listen to anyone. You know, like they feel that they know enough or they know more than the next person. But it's great that you're eager to learn, even being the champion that you are.
Yeah, I think that being teachable is really important. I have learned so much more lately. You know, like just doing things backwards from being a kid when I was playing, and instead of I was too nervous to go ask the players what was what, and I would watch them, and even though I was mixed up, it seemed like I had learned how to do it backwards. Now I'm turning it around and doing it the right way, and it's working for me, and I'm practicing more. I just have a different attitude. Instead of just hoping I win, I want to win. You know?
You work to win.
Yeah.
And when you see yourself improving, it's so self-satisfying, you know, and you get such satisfaction from it.
Yes, it is.
Now, this particular shot, I like playing this shot all the way down to the side rail and coming back off the bottom rail. That way you come off of those rails and you're not lying close to the rail, just the way she played it there.
You have a lot more margin of error for your speed there. Whereas if you just try to be precise with your speed, stopping it, say, 4 inches off the rail like you need to, that's very hard. You've got just a lot wider range of speed that you can hit that ball going to the side rail first.
And you find yourself coming away from the rail, and you find yourself off the rail more often than not.
Correct.
And after game number 4, Loree Jon Jones finally gets on the scoreboard and trails Ewa Mataya 1-3. Both of these girls have very similar breaks. Wouldn't you feel that? I mean, they both break the balls with about equal power.
I would say that's an accurate statement.
Loree Jon hasn't been making a ball on the break in this. When we played earlier, I think that's what was the deciding factor. We both break the balls well, but neither one of us was making balls. We'd scatter them, and whoever missed, the other one got up and ran out.
It's almost impossible to win a match when you're not making a ball on the break and your opponent is.
That's right.
It's very difficult.
I don't know what she's playing here. I don't know if I would do this. Looks like she might go under the 3 there.
It's just what she did.
It was a very brave shot, considering that the 2-ball could have went 2 rails around and pocketed the 8. You know, and if that would have happened, she would have been stuck there. But that's not what happened, and Loree Jon's confronted with a very difficult situation.
In a situation like this, where it's almost impossible to hit the object ball, a good thing to consider would be to position the balls on the table so that it would be hard for your opponent to run out when they get ball in hand.
Yeah, she should have been thinking about possibly tying up a ball, but I don't think she could have tied up anything in the position on the table of where she was at. You know, the best she could have expected out of that was possibly to make the 8 or something, and
Or
that really would increase the difficulty by that much.
it would have been possible maybe to tie the 3 and the 2 up.
Well, shoot the 3 over by the 2.
Yes.
Was that the way it was a hit or angled?
Yeah.
Okay, now it's very important when Ewa
Whoops, I
Mataya
think she missed that ball.
she just took her
Wonder if
eye
she
off
hit
the
the
ball, or
table
she
with
hit
her
her hand on the
hand.
table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I was going to mention that, providing that she did pocket the 2, it was very important for her not to pocket the 3 behind the 8 on the same shot. Now, Loree Jon is going to be confronted with that, with the same shot. Now, it's very important for her just to roll this very easy, because this 3 can follow the 8 in very easily. And she really wanted to get a little further off that rail. I don't know if she could have, but she really should have gotten off that rail a little further if she could have. Now the cue ball is going to be hit a little bit harder. Well, she's going to have to play position on the 4 if she's jacking
It looks
up
like
this.
she's might be trying to make both balls, Billy, and make sure she gets position on the 4. That's exactly what she did.
That was a very wise shot. She used very good judgment in shooting that shot that
I
way.
think she was a little too straight and close to the rail to slow roll the ball and just make the 8 ball.
Very nice shot.
Looks like this game will go to Loree Jon.
Now she wants to get more toward the center of the table here, but the best place for her to get is below the 7 slightly. But to do that, you know, she might fall too much below the 7 and really have a problem. I try to get to the center of the table. That's a very nice shot. She can control the cue ball very nicely from that position. She struck it perfectly. This is game number 5. It should go to Loree Jon Jones, and if it does, she will trail only in this match 2 games to 3. Or she will trail 2 games to 3. Over.
Is that 2 games to 3, Billy?
No. She
Only
will
2
only
games.
trail 2
I
games
see.
to 3.
Let's see if her break works for her this time. Whoops.
Well, that's a really common occurrence on this particular equipment. The cue ball jumps off the bed of the table quite frequently off the break. And you really have to be concerned when you break the balls that you hit the 1 ball squarely. And what I mean by that is you get a good solid hit on the 1 ball.
Hit it full in the face. You don't want to hit it to one side or the other.
That's right.
And then also, if on any particular table, if your break isn't working for you, you need to move your cue ball around and try and find a different spot. Perhaps it's a little more advantageous.
Yes, it's certainly advisable that if something isn't working for you, to change what you're doing.
These balls are fairly well spread out.
Yeah, the key to this rack is position on the 4. You have to attain the correct angle on the 4 in order to drop safely onto the 5. Now she's best just to swing right across table and shoot the 5 in the lower right-hand corner pocket. Well, she didn't get down low enough, and that's what I was afraid might happen if she chose to shoot that shot in that fashion. If she would have chosen to just come straight across table, she would have had a little more difficult shot, but not really a tough shot. And I think she could have negotiated that much easier than this.
That's right. I think I would have been straight across. She Loree Jon, she hit that pretty good.
I don't believe she snookered. I believe she can hit a portion of the ball. Possibly not, though.
Well, she made good contact with the 5. And left Eva a makeable ball.
A little testy shot.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Well, she scratched cross-eyed. You know, she probably would have been much better off hitting that ball at a lesser speed, you know, like rolling it maybe, or not really rolling it, but not quite as hard. Now, this is really a routine out here. She has to keep her concentration level high, though. Simple routine outs, once you take your eye off the ball or lose that concentration, simple things become very complicated all of a sudden. So therefore, it's really important that she stays focused here.
Yes, it can. When you have a what appears to be a very simple layout, sometimes you can relax because you see the patterns, and it's like, well, you know, this is automatic, and a lot of times when you relax a little bit, well, something will happen.
Yes, it's when you take things for granted
Right.
that you kind of like screw up or err at times, and when you do that, it like compounds the situation. You feel that you've given something away, you know, and you really don't like the feeling you're left with. And after game number 6, the match is all knotted up at 3 games apiece. Well, Eva started out with the first 3, and now Loree Jon responded very well, coming back winning the next 3.
And it does look like Loree Jon moved her cue ball over just about 3 inches. And
very
obviously that's
frustrating.
not the spot either.
Not making a ball on the break. You know, and Loree Jon's been
It's hard.
having that problem tonight.
It's hard to gain any momentum,
Right.
any rhythm.
I just think it's the tables right now, and the weather, the humidity is just really bad. It's like they're not even hitting hard. You know?
This is exactly the way we figured this match to go, back and forth. Both of these women players are playing extremely well. They may have made one mistake each, but that's understandable. There's a lot of pressure in this match. The winner of this match will advance and play in the finals against the lady to my left, Robin Bell.
She's studying as to what safety possibilities she might have. Perhaps the key ball behind the 4 ball, that is.
That's excellent speed. Excellent speed, and she's gotten rewarded for a fine effort. Robin, you have second place locked up right now, and that's worth how much?
That's $3,000.
Don't forget, you and I have an agreement. Everything you win in tournaments, I get 10% up. And everything I win in tournaments, you get all of it.
Boys, I was listening to Sammy.
I still think you're getting the best of the deal, Billy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
She attempted a 3-rail kick and came a little bit long. Even though the key ball did make contact with the 2, of course, nothing hit a rail afterwards, so it is a foul ball in hand.
Let's swing the attention just momentarily to table number 6, where the two men are playing, and there's also 3 people left in that event. Roger Griffith is playing Kim Davenport, and at the time in the match, the current time in the match, Roger Griffith is leading Kim Davenport 4 games to 3.
Shot. Looks like the 8 lined up for this pocket.
Okay, back to the action on table number 5 between the 2 women players. Ewa Mataya should get as close as she can to the 5, and The ideal angle would be the straight-in angle, drawing the ball straight back down the rail for the 6. Now she has to draw precisely in between the 8 and 9. That could create a problem for her. The corner pocket may come into play here.
Or she could miss the ball.
In her concern for position, pinpoint position, she allowed herself to misjudge the ball. Now, if Loree Jon must go up table and back down again on this shot. And the way the ball's laying, she must put right-hand English on it. So after hitting the second rail, it'll come straight down the table, and she can play the 6 in the same pocket. Well, she put the other English on it, and watch out. It's advisable to put the other English on that shot, because after hitting the bottom rail, you would hit the side rail, somewhere around the side pocket or a little below that, and you would float laterally right down to the 6 in the same pocket, and the likelihood of a scratch is not as great as it is going 3 rails around.
It could be that she had more confidence and more knowledge on the other shot, even though the hazard of the scratch is there.
What to do is to go back on the tape, or for that matter, just set up that shot and practice it each way.
Correct.
See which way feels
well,
best.
plus you need to practice both ways, depending on where
The
there might
angle.
be traffic
Right.
in the other parts of the table. Now you notice how much concentration Ewa used in shooting that 9 ball, even though, of course, it didn't appear to be a difficult shot, but it just reinforces what we've been saying about that you really must be focused.
That's true. All the great men players, such as Mike Siegel and Mick Varner, Efren Reyes, all the great players, they really get out 100, just about 100% of the time when they're supposed to, and that's the killer instinct they have in them that allows them to do that. And the people that let up and take things for granted, well, they really don't have that strong desire and that killer in them, and that's what they're lacking in their game.
That finishing power.
That's right. Now the 2-9 looks really appealing here, providing that she can make the 1 and get in reasonable position to play this combination. Now that was a very important shot for her to either make or make sure her opponent couldn't make it. The 2-9 is lying fairly well there into that right-hand corner pocket. Now she has to have strong concentration on this shot and pull the cue ball deep into the right-hand corner and swing it 2 rails around. Speed is very crucial right here. It looks like she's hit it very nicely.
She just wants to make sure she doesn't find the side pocket.
No, she
Move it off
overcut
a
it
little
slightly. Now this is a real easy shot for her to execute. The ball will take a natural path under the 9 and also under the 7. And the 2 balls should come around the side pocket somewhere or in that area.
You know, on that combination, Billy, I always say there's no such thing as an easy combination. It might have suited her better to go around and look at it and maybe take a little bit more time to line it up, because combinations, even no matter how close they are, the balls are together, or how close they are to a pocket, they're
That's right. I think
very difficult.
that was the one thing that she needed to look out for. The side pocket wasn't as big of an issue as making sure that the 2-9 was going to go, and she didn't line it up. She just took it for granted, and that's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That it's very important not to get careless, especially when you're playing another great player.
And also it means, you know, you can win the game.
That's right.
Well, that's very well put, and it's always best to make sure, especially on difficult shots, that you know precisely where to hit them. think she wanted to come up a little bit further than that. Now she's going to have to negotiate with the 6 here a little. She might have to run into the 6. If I were given this shot, what I would do, I would cut the 5 in and spin it into the 6 softly, but not too softly. Enough to where I would move the sticks about 7 or 8 inches away from the cue ball, giving myself an opportunity to either play it inside or the corner. She executed that shot very nicely.
And I think it was a proper choice, Billy. Of course, you never want to go into a ball when you don't have to.
Well, on that particular shot, you had real good control of the cue ball since you were so close to the 5. You knew just about where it was going to come off the rail, and if you hit the 6 anywhere, you're going to get a shot either in the side or the corner. And probably an easy shot. It may have been just a matter of one's preference, you know. But of course, she still had to execute that shot fairly precise, missing the 6 and then coming back across table again. At the end of game number 8, Ewa Mataya lengthens her lead over Loree Jon Jones at 5 games to 3. The women players race to 9, the men to 11. This is about the halfway point in the match. And Ewa holds a slight edge by 2 games. It's a little larger than slight. At the halfway point, 2 games is a considerable margin. Loree Jon is going to have to play excellent pool if she expects to defeat Ewa in this match. There's a possibility that the 4 may squeeze by the 5, considering the generosity of the pockets. You well know these tables play quite soft. So therefore, if she gets in a reasonable line on the 4, close to the 4, she can cheat the pocket. But first things first, she first must make the 1, draw back for the 2. She's done that, and now she's looking at the cue ball in a fairly straight-in angle. She has a small angle, and this shot requires strong concentration and a real firm stroke. She's going to have a problem getting it back. Now she fell a little bit short here. I don't know whether or not it's advisable for her to go for the shot now. Yeah, well, she could actually hit the right-hand side of the 4 with the cue ball, go between the 4 and the 5 with the cue ball, and then drop on the bottom cushion. Or she could play it like this also. This is a, yes, this was your shot. She could play it like this also. Well, no, it's just a matter of preference again. If you feel more comfortable with the other shot, this shot is certainly the way to play it. You know, possibly. And now that 9, the 9 on that rail by that 6 ball, the 6 ball makes it a very easy shot. If the 6 ball really isn't into the pocket that deeply, it acts as like sideboards and might even be helpful for it to be there.
Looks like she's going to bank the 4 across side and billiard. Use the cue ball for the 9. No, it looks like she's cutting it in.
Yeah, I prefer cutting the 4 into the 6. You get a lot more action that way, and it's a much more accurate shot. Well, I guess she decided to shoot your shot and executed it perfectly. After game number 9, now she extends her lead over Loree Jon Jones 6 games to 3.
I think Ewa was also thinking that if she didn't make the 9 off the 4, cutting it in, that she'd have left Loree Jon a shot. This way she was safe no matter what would happen.
Or it could be that with the combination that it, if it doesn't go, it could remain lined up and leave her opponent an easy opportunity for a win.
Right.
I think using the cue ball was a lot better choice.
Well, especially considering how easy she made it look, obviously it was the right choice. Is that one for me or one for you? One for me because I agreed. That's why
Are we keeping score?
Well, I agreed with you, so therefore that should be one for me because I could have been stubborn.
I think that's a first time in life, right?
What, that I was wrong or you were right?
That you agreed that you were wrong. But Billy, the last time I was wrong is when I thought I was.
Oh, I see. This is a very crucial game for Loree Jon. She must get out this rack. She's trailing at this juncture of the match by a 3-game margin. 6 games to 3, and you're only racing to 9. Time's running out.
This is a very important game psychologically for both players. A score of 6-4 is still a very reasonable match. A score of 7-3, you're beginning to get into an area where it's getting a little bit tougher to.
This is the key shot in this particular rack. She has to attain the correct angle on the 5 in order to drop on the 6. If you notice, the 6 will only go in one pocket.
So you're going to have to use inside or right-hand English.
I like for her to go up the table and back down.
Right.
Shot.
That's exactly the shot.
Nicely.
That was the right shot.
It also looks like Loree Jon's letting her stroke out a little bit too. She's getting real serious. And she seems like she's more into the match right at this particular point. See how her stroke's coming out. You know, one thing playing with the girls, when they get behind a little bit, it's like all of a sudden something comes out of them. It's like, you know.
They start playing better. They're tougher.
Let me bring up a noteworthy point on this particular shot. This is a very difficult shot for her to get on the other side of the 8. And if she tries it, she might go toward that side pocket. She has to hit it very, very good in order to bring the cue ball back. Okay, now she can go 3 rails around, or possibly maybe she has even room to just force it back down table, maybe. Maybe she can force it back down table. Yeah, she can force it a little bit.
With the 8 ball so close to the hole, you have a lot of freedom to hit it on whatever side you need to. So she had it wasn't right up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's quite all right. It wasn't right against the rail. In other words, there was room for it to go in, hitting it a little bit on the left-hand side.
Yeah, the way the cue ball came off of the 8 ball certainly is an indication that it was not against that side point on the side pocket, and she was able to control it a little. And in the meantime, she responded well to the pressure. She was trailing 3 games, and she desperately needed to win that rack. Now, she has a pocket to pocket the 1 and by the 9, and she also has an opportunity to make the 1-9 combination, which is a really brave shot if she chooses to shoot it. I don't know how much of the 1 she can see. Well, she's pushing.
I think the score being 6-4 at this particular time, it's very important for Eva not to get careless, because even though she's ahead 2 games, it isn't anything. You know, it went 3-0, then it was 3-3, then it went another 6. You know, another 3 games, and so she still needs to really capitalize on and not go for anything carelessly.
If Loree Jon can pocket the 1 ball, it isn't really that easy of a shot. I believe Eva's push was very, very good. You know, anytime there's indecision with your opponent, and your opponent either accepting or passing the shot, you know you've done your job.
Well, I think the fact that she pushed to where you have to bridge over the 6, that was a determining factor for Loree Jon to pass the shot.
But I think it was a very good push out. Now, if Eva pockets the 1 ball, she will get rewarded, and she'll have an opportunity to win game number 11 and take a 7-4 lead. If not, Loree Jon has an opportunity to close in a little closer. She struck it very nicely, brushing the 9. Fortunately, the ball fell into the pocket. Does the 2 bypass the 3?
That's what she's looking at right now.
I don't think so. I think
You still have to play it, and you have to hit it fairly firm, and in favor, actually favor the 3 side of the pocket. If you miss it, you might even hit the 3 and pocket the 3 in the
Pocket the
side.
3. That's right. I think that's what she was looking at to see if she did do that, where the 2 ball was going to end up, so that she could.
I think that was the shot to hit it firm where the 2 ball would come back down here. She got a bad ball here. But,
Okay, it appears to me that the billiard is lying in a reasonably good position,
And that is what she'll be shooting.
but she has to be careful in controlling the 2 ball. Now, the 2 ball is the ball that she has to control here. Well, she misjudged that shot, but fortunately for her, the 4 ball rolled on the side rail. Now, Loree Jon really shouldn't try much other than what she knows she can do here. You know, if she pockets the 2 ball and draws back for the difficult shot to the corner with the 4 ball, she might create a problem for herself. Possibly it'd be better advised for her to pocket the 2 ball and then play safe off the 4.
looks like she's going to stroke the ball. I don't know. Wow, look at this shot. Great shot. Oh, jeez.
Okay, well, she got herself in a very good position to play a nice safety. You want to hit the 4 up by the 6 and send the cue ball behind the 7 and 8 here.
And that's just what she did.
Well, she's left her distance. I believe that Eva can see the 4 ball. If you put the 4 ball up by the 6 and take that angle over that way, you know, behind the 7 and 8, there's a much greater area for you to hook your opponent. Well, she misjudged that, and it's going to be quite costly, possibly. The balls are lying in a very nice position on the table. The key to this rack is position on the 5 ball. If she's able to attain the right position on the 5 ball, she can just go down table for the 6, and then everything else should be rather basic. Well, it's close. It's borderline. If she's gotten a straight in angle, then she can draw it right back to the rail and back again. Once
Straight
again,
back.
you want to draw it to the rail and off the rail, like so. Very nicely done. Now this you can't really hit too hard, so you want to make sure you get down table. Well, she's going to the corner pocket. Considering the generosity, once again, of the pockets, this shot is probably the best shot for her.
She put a real nice touch stroke on that shot. Just sliding over for the 8 in the side. She'll go down table, back up.
This is game number 11. If Loree Jon pockets the 9, she will cut into this lead and edge a little bit closer at 5 games to 6.
You think we might see a 8-8 game match here?
Well, we certainly have the makings of one. It's a 1-game difference at this point, with Loree Jon the one behind, but she's breaking the balls.
Now you notice Loree Jon has moved her cue ball further over to the side. She's still looking for a place to make a ball on the break.
Well, she's not pocketing balls on the break, and that could prove costly.
And feel that's why
No.
Eva's ahead in the match.
This particular shot, you cut the 1 ball in the right-hand corner, but you do not apply any English on this shot. You want to go to the bottom rail, to the side rail, and take the long angle underneath the 9. That way you might even hook your opponent under the 9. By using English, then you go toward the 8 and 3. Now she shot that shot very nice. She shot it very, really nice. Now she ran into the 4, and she's got rather too straight on the 2 here.
I think she's got a little bit of an angle.
Well,
she can go 2 rails out of the corner.
This is a very difficult shot. She might
High
find herself
side.
scratching on it behind the 2 here if she's not careful. She tried to force the issue there a little.
But was somewhat fortunate in where the 2 ball ended up. that her opponent doesn't have an easy shot, an easy offensive shot.
Well, Loree Jon's electing to go 2 rails and try to get under the 9 here with the cue ball. Now, I think she's going to get rewarded for this, possibly. Maybe not. But at least she left her distance. If the 3 will not bypass the 6 into the corner pocket, Ewa Mataya might have a problem.
That was the, I think she came in short, and that's what you were just saying a while ago, Billy. She applied left English, and it shortened the angle coming up table.
Yeah, you want to come into that shot long so you're able to get behind the balls.
Now here it looks like she'll play the billiard.
She's playing the 3, it looks like.
Well, I think that the billiard is a good shot.
She might be a little gun shy from what she did last time when she was playing a billiard.
Well, she played that really nicely.
Had she played the billiard, she might not have had a shot on the 3. I think that's what she was concerned with, too.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, she's got a pocket, no problem.
She's sitting in good position here. Now I would think she'd want to come back to this, to the long rail, side rail where she is now, where she's shooting from, so that she could have an angle on the 6 to come around. I think that's what she wanted to do. She overhit it just a little bit.
Okay,
I think she's still all right, though.
Well, she's got to use the bridge now, and I believe she's created a small problem for herself. She wanted to have definitely needed an angle. If she would have got the proper angle, she wouldn't even needed to use the bridge here. Now she may draw this into the 8, or I don't believe she can force it. She must draw this ball. And when you use the bridge and you have to draw a ball back, anything can happen. And that's all stemming from her inability to get the right angle on the 6. If she would have rested the cue ball against that side rail, she could have very comfortably reached that shot.
Yes.
And then swung the cue ball 2 rails around and captured game number 12. The 8 has almost a full pocket by the 9. Now, Loree Jon
was a little fortunate there.
He ran into the 7. But fortunately, the 7 landed in a very makeable position on the table. And she's in perfect line to pocket the 8. And this match should be all knotted up at 6 games apiece. After game number 12, this match is knotted up once again, this time at 6 games apiece. Well, it was knotted up at 3 games apiece, and then I believe Ava took a 2-game lead.
It's been all sets of 3s.
Yes.
Each player has won 3 games in a row.
And the next player
twice.
who wins 3 games will win the match. Oh, the 9 is hung up in the corner pocket, but there are 2 balls on the spot.
One thing I think with Loree Jon's game is she's got a very direct break. When her break is really working, I think she's treacherous. But when it's not working, she still spreads the balls open, and then it really takes away from her game.
Well, I don't care who you are. If you're not making balls on the break, it's going to be really tough to win.
I know I wouldn't put the cue ball where she is. She might be coming in underneath the 9 here slightly. I would put it over
further
more,
to the left, yeah. But she hit it perfectly.
Oh, she did. Well, that is the end of game number 13, and Ewa Mataya now leads in the match 7 games to 6, or going to 9. Ewa needs 2, and Loree Jon needs 3.
I think perhaps out of the Loree Jon's frustration of not being able to make a ball, she's trying to hit them a little bit harder to see if that will help, and that resulted in the scratch in the side pocket.
Same thing happened here. She opened up the table and nothing went on the break.
This is a kind of a touchy shot here, okay? And she can't follow that. She can't follow this ball, and drawing this ball will be quite difficult too.
She's going to have to draw it back and make sure she gets clearance. on this side of the 3.
That was a very, very wise choice. By forcing the ball out, she assured herself of some kind of a shot on the 2.
Mm-hmm. Looks like she's following her ball.
Okay, now that 9 ball looks very tempting to her right now, and if she tried to pocket a 3 and play the 9 at the same time, I think she's making poor judgment, or exercising poor judgment, but she didn't do that. Now this is the key shot of the rack right here. This is the key shot of the rack. She has to make sure she's on the right side of the 5 ball in order to fall nicely onto the 6. Okay, I believe she's played herself a little bit out of line.
Side pocket comes into play here now.
Yeah, I don't know what she can do with this shot. This is a very,
she
very,
is drawing her ball.
This is a very touchy shot here.
You want to hit this ball as full as you possibly can. Oh, she spun it in there.
Okay,
nice
now
shot.
that she has a very fine cut shot that demands strong concentration, she must hit this ball extremely accurate if she expects to pocket it.
She hit it just right.
Okay, it fell in. This is very suspenseful, very suspenseful.
That was a very big ball to go in.
She hit it.
Score
Well,
either
it would have been
7-7 or 8-6.
It would have been really awful if the ball had not gone in because she hit it really well.
That's right.
You really can't ask for a better match than this. You know, each girl has responded very well under the pressure. But Loree Jon's been the one that's been behind constantly throughout the match, you know, and the pressure, if it affects anyone, might affect her more because she's the one that's been behind the entire match.
I'm not going to
Okay.
see no more 3 in a row, though. It gets down to this close where it's 6-6.
Well,
It's
especially
usually
since it's
back and forth.
7-7. I know we won't see 3 in a row.
Well, the only one that can win 3 in a row now is Loree Jon. If she wins 2 more, that means
Oh,
that
that's
she'll
true.
won 3 in a row.
That's true. From this point on, right. Now,
let's see
this
if
game
she's-
right here is so important. And
Let's see
whenever
if she's
you're
gone to school.
7-7, you really want to
Well,
win
she certainly
you really
made
want to
the
reach the
correct
hill
adjustment.
first.
She made the correct adjustment.
But unfortunately, she doesn't have a shot on the 2 ball.
No, she doesn't. And this is a very, very difficult push, by the way. You know, if you push down table, you give her the cross-corner bank. If you push over by the 4, you're going to put yourself in a trap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is a very, very, very difficult situation she's confronted with.
Let's see where she chooses to
Well, I don't
to
think that
roll
she
out.
can benefit by coming down this way. No, she's left her a very easy cross-corner bank. And she didn't benefit much by pushing where she pushed. She should have pushed for some sort of a safety, or a difficult safety. It's really poorly advised to push out where your opponent can win. And if she pockets this 2 ball, she can
Well,
definitely win.
it's the 2 is an automatic, Billy, and then you've got the 9 there to deal with. It could, you know, when it hits the 9, it's going to be hard to control.
Well, I don't believe she's going to draw this ball. Okay, fortunately for Loree Jon Jones, Ewa Mataya failed to pocket the 2-ball cross corner. Now Loree Jon Jones steps to the table with the match tied up 7 games apiece with an opportunity to win this all-important game.
I don't know. I think if I was Eva, especially with the score 7-7, the bank isn't like an automatic shot. And I think I might have opted to play safe there. Loree Jon's hooked herself behind the 9 ball. She had the opportunity to run the game out, and
Well, she pocketed the 9. Did the 5 fall into the pocket?
yes, it did.
Well, if the 5 fell into the pocket, there are now 3 balls on the head string. And that has created quite a problem for both of these girls. I mean, I don't know if Eva has much of an advantage.
Well, the advantage she does have is that she has ball in hand, and she can position herself on the 4 to where she has breakout possibilities of the 3 balls on the head string.
That's true. And
she
by
came
the
short.
by the angle that I see, I think that now she is at a slight disadvantage because the next ball is the 5 ball, and that's going to be the middle ball between the 6 and the 9. And to play a safe off the middle ball is very difficult.
She's not gonna try and pocket the ball. She's gonna try and. Oh, good shot.
She made a very nice shot. And making
Apparently
that
she
fine
was perfect.
shot. And making
We
that
were being very traditional by looking at the corner pockets.
in making that fine shot, notice where the 6 ball went. That's the problem in this particular rack for her. I believe she's playing the 9 here.
I was going to say she does have a combination on the 9.
And it isn't a bad choice.
But I don't think she's doing that. She didn't even go around to look at it.
She may be playing the 9 here and leaving her opponent distance. Well, I'll tell you, I would have much rather played the 9 than have done this. She has a very makeable shot. And if she happens to pocket this 5 ball, the cue ball will go 2 rails around.
I think she was trying to get the cue ball behind the 6, huh?
She may not have executed the ball right, but the idea that she was having, she's determined to play safe just in case. So she's really on top of the game, even though she didn't even get there.
Well, Loree Jon.
If she would have pocketed that ball, she would have been in perfect line to get back down table with the 7. There's a lot of pressure out there right now. This match is tied up at 7 games apiece, and they're only racing to 9.
And the player that wins this game has got a very big advantage. She may be trying to cut the 5 into the corner pocket.
That was a very smart shot. Very smart shot.
I thought, yeah, because with the cut shot with the 7 ball where it is, it could come into play, and you wouldn't want to make the 5 unless you definitely had a shot on the 6.
Well, I don't know if she can get over this ball. She's in pretty close quarters here.
Loree Jon opted to try and jump over the 9 rather than kicking at the 5 ball. As it turns out, it didn't work out. Eva might have gotten a little too straight on the 6.
Eva may have gotten herself a little straighter than she wanted to here. The 7 ball is down the other end of the table. And if she draws this ball back, she has to make sure she applies a lot of low English and a good stroke in order to get this ball back down table. And I don't believe she's going to do it. And she's located herself in a very awkward position on the table. She doesn't appear to have any type of a bank, and the cut shot is very difficult, too difficult to even attempt.
No. What she has to consider is which safety she'll choose to attempt.
Pat Fleming showed me a shot that I would probably try here, and that's hitting the cue ball with low English and just hitting straight into the 7 ball and causing the 7 ball to stay and pushing the cue ball back.
Double kissing.
Yeah.
I feel like the 7's too close to the pocket, because unless you hit it exactly perfect, the 7 will come out from the rail, and even if it comes out just 2 inches, it's close enough to the corner pocket to where it would leave your opponent an easy shot.
Okay, now, the way I see this shot, the problem areas here are the side pocket. So therefore, if I was her, I would apply a little bit of English and come short of the side and then take the long shot on the 8.
I think the most important thing is to really pocket the ball, because she can make the ball pretty much anywhere.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Was that the way you would have shot that shot?
Imagine.
I was still curious as to what Eva was attempting on her safety shot.
Well, I don't know what she had in mind. She was definitely in a trap, and I believe I would have tried
Perhaps she was wanting to hit
different
the ball a
shot.
little thinner, or I don't know.
This is a very big game here. Very big game.
Whoa.
Oh. I tell you, the suspense is really something here, especially. And when she hit that 9, I knew that she needed the entire pocket for it to go, and it like hesitated for a second, but it did fall in. After game number 15, all of a sudden, Loree Jon Jones, for the first time in this match, is taking the lead at 8-7.
Loree Jon's definitely looking to make a ball on the break here, and I think she'll make one.
She has to be careful that she doesn't overamp and jump the table.
She
That's
definitely
exactly what she did. She lost her concentration.
She chose the perfect time to take the lead for the first time in the match, I think.
This time it didn't hurt her too bad. The 1 ball's behind the 4. 2-8 tied up. This is a trouble game. It can go anyway.
I don't know if it's advisable to shoot this shot. Well, this is a very difficult shot to execute. She's 9 foot away from the ball. She has to roll it. Oh, that is very, really fortuitous. She not only hooked Ewa Mataya, but she broke up the 2 and 8. Now, if she's awarded ball in the hand, these balls are opened up where she can really like steal this match away from her.
She did
I
get.
think one of Loree Jon's strong points is controlling the cue ball. She plays those safeties really well, getting behind the ball.
Although in this case, she did double kiss. I mean, she did double kiss the 1 ball, and that was an excellent kick by Ewa, and she was rewarded for it.
She locked up the 2 ball again, though.
I don't believe she's getting this long enough.
2 rails.
Well, she did. She hit it on the right side of the ball, sending it up the table. Now, the 2 ball is located behind the 8 on the lower portion of our screen. I don't believe it's makeable. I don't even know if the combination 2-3 is makeable. And even if it is, she still has to obtain the correct angle or position on the 2 to make it. And that's quite difficult in itself.
Especially with the 5 ball where it was, she had to come deeper to escape hitting the 5 ball, and sure enough, the 7 came into play.
On table number 6 in the men's match between Roger Griffith and Kim Davenport leads in that match 10-7 and breaking the balls. At one time, that match was all knotted up at 7 games apiece. Kim has won the last 3 consecutive games. That's excellent speed. And she's gotten her frozen on the 3 ball. I don't believe she has any chance of hitting this ball.
Beautiful shot.
Oh, she made a wonderful hit there. She made a wonderful hit, and yeah.
2 rails out of the par.
She hit that ball exactly right. She made a tremendous hit. And Loree Jon doesn't have what you might consider a gimme out. She has to come with this first shot. It's very important. Well,
No
I don't
problem
know.
there.
I don't know about this particular shot. You know, she's located the cue ball in a really a tough spot on the table.
Think she can come around the 9? Shoot the 4?
The problem with coming around the 9, she still has to get back up table for the 5. She wants to stay below the 4 here. Well, this is okay if she can pocket the 4 and swing 3 rails around the 8 and 9. Now, if she pockets the 4, and she must maintain strong concentration on this shot. concentrate on pocketing the four. The path of the cue ball will be natural around the 8 and 9. She goes up table. Okay, now position on the 7 is what it's all about right here. If she's able to pocket the 5, come off the rail and get a nice angle to go through the rail and back over where she's at now, closer to the 7 actually, then she should be able to win this match.
That might have been a case of
I think that she shot that shot very quickly and that she didn't really bear down on it.
and perhaps thinking, well, you know, this was that she was out from there, and perhaps had other thoughts of, well, I've won this match, and didn't keep 100% concentration on the task at hand.
Well, it looks like this match may go down to a deciding game. And you asked me at one time, a little earlier in the match, do I feel that this may be an 8-8 game, a hill game? And I said it certainly has the makings of it. And this has been a very, very good match. Both of these women have played extremely well throughout the entire course of the match. And it only seems fitting that it should go down to a one single game.
Very fitting. You can always predict a 8-8 match when you have
Ewa Mataya pockets the 9 in game number 16, and now the intensity of this match is at a really high intensity.
Oh yes, this is to see who has a shot in the finals.
Okay, now Loree Jon Jones is going to have the first opportunity to do something with.
She's got a clear shot on the 1 ball, but the 2 and 3 are on the same rail. Well, that worked out pretty nicely.
Well, I'll tell you something. She may have won the match with that particular shot. If she pockets this 2-3 combination, the 2 ball will rest right on the rail, and it'll bypass the 9 also. Now,
she might have a billiard.
The billiard is very makeable, I do believe. No, it's very makeable. I don't believe that she has a shot. Now, if I was her, I would summon the referee over to take a look at the shot. I would summon the referee over to take a look at the shot. Fortunately, the tournament director, Jay Hufford, has gotten himself in perfect line to call this hit. If she elects to kick rail first, it took 17 games for Ewa Mataya to defeat Loree Jon Jones by the slimmest of margins, 9 games to 8. It was a very exciting match, and both women players played, I feel, very well during the match. They responded very well to the pressure. There was a lot of pressure out there. It came down to a final game, and
Well, Robin, looks like it'll be you and Eva tomorrow.
Yeah, Robin, it's going to be you and Eva, and actually, you had your preference was to play Eva or Ava.
That's right. Eva's playing real good right now. She really is. We played in the New Jersey tournament, the last tournament we played in, and she played very well against me. Same exact thing happened, 3, 3, 3, 3, all the way, the whole time, until it got down to the 11th game, which she thought she lost because we were playing a race to 11, and fortunately we weren't. We changed it to playing a race to 13 in the finals.
It did come down 12-12.
Went down 12-12 this time. One thing that I think is big for Eva, she's shooting for Player of the Year. I've won a couple tournaments, but they were like, the World Tournament and then the Nationals, but it was at a different time, even though it was
In 1990.
1990. So.
Well, it proves
So that tomorrow could be a big factor in that race for Player of the Year.
That's right. Really,
Although we still have lots of tournaments left this year, so.
It proves to be a very interesting matchup tomorrow between you and Ava, and I feel it's going to be fairly close. Both of these girl players are playing extremely well. Robin defeating Loree Jon 9-7, and then you just watched Ava defeat Loree Jon 9-8. So therefore, that's an indication that the matchup tomorrow seems or figures to be fairly close. How would you have played? Would you have played that billiard on the 9 that Loree Jon attempted?
The one that Eva attempted? Oh, I see. Yeah, I definitely would have tried it. But I think that I wouldn't have. If you noticed, Loree Jon just got right down on it. She didn't even come in aim or line it up. Or
Study it, yeah. And perhaps maybe at a different speed with a little more pace, so that particular, in case it doesn't go, that you don't leave your opponent with an easy shot to win the game.
Well, it certainly has been a pleasure working with Belinda and Robin during this match, and I certainly learned a lot about the correct way of going around certain balls
And when not to go
ducking
into
in
them.
and out, and
when not to go into them. That's
them.
right.
also when not to play the 9 ball in a ridiculous time. Our games have improved, Billy.
Yes, they certainly have, and I feel now that the girls are all playing at a very high level, and they can compete with some of the men players, possibly myself. So maybe later on this evening, possibly tomorrow, we'll all get together and have a nice ring game.
Do you think you have a chance?
Billy, I played you at the Elks Club, and you weren't completely stealing. Do you remember that?
Matter of fact, I do remember that, and it was in a fight for my life, and I won by the slimmest of margin. I think I beat you by 1 or 2 games at most, and I was under a lot of pressure. I just couldn't bear the thought of a woman beating me.
Well, and Robin knew that, so she let up on you a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah, well, I wanted to thank you for that.
She had to.
I figured.
She wanted you. She let you win, but just by a little bit.
Well, I'm really, really grateful that you allowed me to win that match, and maybe one day I'll pay you back for that.
Okay.
You have anything in mind? Pat? How'd it go, okay? These girls are, it's over? The tape's off? It's still on? Okay. Well, for ACCUSTATS, Pat Fleming, Robin Bell, Belinda Bearden, and yours truly, Bill Incardona, we appreciate the viewers tuning in on this particular match, and hopefully you'll buy this match, or maybe possibly buy the men's match, or for that matter, any other match of this tournament. There's been some great matches in this tournament, and if you want to contact Pat Fleming, the 800 number is 1-800-828-0397. So once again, thanks a lot, and hopefully we'll be seeing you at the next tournament, which will be in Cleveland, Ohio.